There are so many complexities within the cannabis industry. Cannabis science, and more specifically, cannabis microbiology, does not need to be one. Today, I join you to share how you can make cannabis microbiology simple while meeting your unique state compliance regulations, protecting consumer health and safety, as well as protecting your brand and profitability. I'm Maria McIntyre, Strategic Business Manager of Cannabis and Hemp for bioMérieux. Today we'll look at several factors. First off, why care about microbiology, health and safety for all, the impact of microbiology testing, safety and mitigation, as well as that simple science. So you may be asking yourself, why microbiology? Microbes are present everywhere. Microbes, including pathogens, molds, fungi, can have a negative impact on human health in your brand. Microbes are present in agricultural products, and they also are present throughout the supply chain. And there's many points throughout that supply chain, from seed to consumption, where there's opportunity to review and understand the microbes to mitigate risks and improve product quality, brand reputation, as well as consumer safety. So let's look at what we've learned from the pandemic. You may actually know more about microbiology than you might think. Little things can harm you, and subtle changes can leave large impact. So if we look at COVID, the COVID virus can be very harmful. When we put small changes in place, such as mask wearing and hand washing and vaccinations, they leave a large impact on the health and safety of a population. It's similar in cannabis microbiology. Small things can harm you, your product, and your brand. And with subtle changes, you can impact the safety, your brand, and your product quality. Microbiology, organisms that can't be visible to the naked eye. This includes the classification of several groups, including bacteria, viruses, fungi, and others, again, all classified as microbes. Microbes are present everywhere, and they can impact the quality of your product as well as the health of people. Quite frankly, they can even be deadly. As with any agricultural product, microbes are present throughout the supply chain, and there's opportunities microbes to have growth and flourish throughout. As with any agricultural products, microbes are present. Their value to understand where their opportunities to grow are and to predict the challenges within your environment. When you do this and mitigate the risks, it turns a higher product quality, maintains brand image, as well as helps you protect consumer health and safety, as well as profitability. One key microbe of interest within the cannabis industry is aspergillus. And aspergillus can lead to aspergillosis, which in many individuals can cause serious side effects or even death. So it's critical to understand your environment, to make those small changes to further impact your brand profitability and consumer health and safety. Another element to consider is that the adult use market has a wide variety of consumers, and this may include medicinal consumers. We truly never know who is on the consumption end of the products. So the intention would be to protect all, protect your brand, and avoid any financial impact and negative supply chain disruption. So why test cannabis? We test cannabis for several reasons. First, many tests for simply meeting the state compliance regulations. The testing can be used for impact to consumer health and safety, also to improve the quality of your product, to safeguard the industry, and to fuel your brand image and profitability. Compliance testing is needed to meet state regulations, protect consumers and your brand. Regulations are patchworked throughout the United States. Each state has a different schematic for regulations. Given the diversity in regulations, it's imperative to know compliance regulations in your states of operations. The cannabis industry is so dynamic. No one knows exactly where regulations will be in the short term, more or less the long term. Looking at and understanding regulations holistically in the United States can be impactful and provide you a different perspective. So let's take a look here. If we look at the current regulations for microbiology, they fall into several categories. If we look at pathogen testing, these are predominantly Salmonella stek as well as Aspergillus. And the Aspergillus contains usually 4 select species for considerations. If we move beyond pathogen testing, we move into the threshold testing of yeast and mold and other parameters, where there's a required count and acceptance limits. And adjacent these two categories of testing, we're seeing that accreditation overall is required for that ISO 17025 and the expanding work within AOAC to validate the fit for purpose of select testing methods. If we move further into other trends, we see that a lot of regulations for the microbial parameters include product and categories. So you may have a different type of testing to be done for an edible versus an inhalable and various other types of product. In some cases, we do see that the method in states are accepted or declined. So as you're looking at the regulations, take a close look here as well. Compliance testing is endpoint testing to ensure the quality of your product and protect your brand, profitability, and consumers, both now and in the future. It's important to talk about in-house testing. When you test in-house, it creates the opportunity for you to understand your environment and operations, discover, mitigate, and ensure and even sometimes predict challenges that may appear in your operation. This is relevant from seed to sale. From soil to air, cultivation, harvest, drying, curing, and beyond, there are risks to quality and safety that impact your brand and reputation. Proactively testing for microbial organisms allows you to mitigate these risks and again, even predict these changes. This helps to avoid compliance failures and recalls. This also fuels brand protections and give your customers and yourself the peace of mind knowing that your product can be trusted. Let's take a look at the 3 categories: pre-harvest, post-harvest, and processing. So if we look at the pre-harvest side of things, it's important to look in knowing your environment. Also test your growth mediums, including cocoa coir, soil, tissue culture, and beyond. Take a look at your incoming materials. They could be posing risk to the initial phases as well as downstream. It's important to know and understand the microbial climate within your mother room as well, as that is an anchor for all of your operations from the cultivation side. There's many tools out there in pre-harvest to help you look at beneficial insects and integration of a pest management program. If we move from pre-harvest to post-harvest, environmental monitoring is still important, as well as understanding incoming new materials that are relevant within this phase. Surveillance testing is also impactful, understanding that the quality throughout your cycle, really fueling your quality program throughout your operations. From pre-harvest, we move into processing, and here also environmental monitoring is very impactful, as well as looking at additional ingredients that are brought into your product, as well as packaging testing. Within processing, you can also look at the final product before that is sent out for compliance testing. Also, another element to look at in the processing category would be shelf life tests. This includes the stability of your product and determines a shelf life for functionality as well as quality. This brings us back to why test cannabis for microbiological contaminants. This includes the meeting of the state and local compliance regulations, the insurance of consumer health and safety, the confirmation of product quality, as well as safeguarding the cannabis industry. And these collectively fuel into protecting your brand, image, and profitability. Now that you know the more harmful risks of microbes, the regulations, the options for impacting your operations, let's look at factors to consider in selecting a microbiology testing method. With the variation from state to state, it's impactful to understand how to choose the right method to analyze those microbial contaminants that you're looking for. There are three main areas to consider when selecting a microbiology solution for testing cannabis. These are testing simplicity to meet regulations and also to achieve your operational goals. This is connected to science and the reliability of results and scientific integrity combined with AOAC. This moves us forward into those two factors influencing the efficiency and optimization, as well as having a microbiology partner. Let's dive in a little bit further. When you select simple and reliable solutions, these are easy to operate and adapt into your operations. There's minimal time and labor, and it speaks to the variety of capabilities of your staff. Understanding the method and workflow adjacent the time, labor, and level of expertise will really impact the success of your operations. Reliability is a critical factor for you to trust your results and your solutions. This begins with the science. When you look at robust and reliable science combined with simple and reliable methods, it increases the safety and compliance throughout your operations. There's also value here to mention innovation, as we now know what regulations look like and build to fuel the diversity and dynamics within the expanding industry. Innovation is a critical pillar. Having a partner that can help you with customized assays and innovation is imperative to move with you with the dynamic times. Scientific integrity and AOAC are the backbones to a testing methods. This yields strong and accurate results that are reliable for you and scientific integrity. This is seen from data from the vendor as well as data and certification through AOAC specific to cannabis-related products. It's important to ensure that your testing method is fit for purpose and will perform the functions that you need. So let's take a deeper look on AOAC. AOAC has rapidly changed within the last year, and looking at who AOAC is, why AOAC is operating in the cannabis industry to support science really leads us to the value of AOAC. AOAC establishes standard method analysis. This impacts health and safety for all. This globally recognized organization has scientific processes to scrutinize and analyze fit for purpose within a testing method. There are numerous other elements that AOAC provides and values. Since we're focusing on selecting a testing method, we'll keep it simple and leave it at that for today. AOAC also contributes to product safety. AOAC unites industry, academia, and others to establish testing validation. It ensures that you have reliable testing methods for the purpose and functionality there. With this, it brings a strong impact to public health and safety and ensures that scientific integrity within cannabis, through other industries, and throughout the globe. This bridges further with the cannabis industry in the scientific relevance of testing methods. AOAC brings a significant value and knowledge to the cannabis industry. This includes method testing validation, reliable analytical options for testing methods that ensure both the science and safety, that then impact and protect consumers, the industry, and the products. Let's move into the last factor to consider for selecting a microbial testing method. Efficiency and optimization are essential, as well as ensuring you're selecting a partner that is truly a partner that will support you and provide you access to scientific expertise and real-time troubleshooting. A partner is an extension of your operations and your laboratory. So to look a little bit further into operations and efficiency, ultimately this is doing more with less steps, with less materials, with less process. That efficiency and optimization can be fueled by simplified workflows. Having a simple process for testing microbiology really impacts your confidence in the test, as well as the optimization of your operations. Having a workflow as simple from going from sample to results with a few simple steps along the way is really imperative to fuel this forward. Having that microbial expertise and that partnership for someone knowing the cannabis industry, as well as several other industries, including food, pharma, nutraceutical, all anchored in the science of microbiology, is an opportunity to take you further faster. It allows you to have greater profitability, productivity, and increased quality, as well as that partnership that was mentioned to be an extension of your operations to further influence that bigger picture and your operational goals. We've talked about 3 areas to focus on in selecting a method in terms of the simplicity of the testing to meet regulations and also your operational goals. The second being reliability and scientific integrity adjacent to AOAC. And then lastly, the efficiency and optimization and benefits of that microbial scientific partner. Considering these 3 factors will really set you and your operation up for success. Today, we've touched on a lot of topics, including starting with why care about microbiology testing in the cannabis industry, how that influences consumer safety, your brand image, not only today, but also in the future, and the impacts of cannabis microbiology testing that also impacts your operational goals through science, and looking at the simplicity of science and how that allows you to reach your current goals and build for the future while driving optimization. Really appreciate your time today. We've talked about a lot of areas. As you ponder this conversation, please feel free to reach out to me directly to expand this conversation further. Thank you.